I'm starting this new segment called How to Motovlog, where I'm going to be teaching you, tips and tricks and giving you some information that I have and some tips and tricks I know that could make your motovlogs, also to say your vlogs better. So this is the first video in the segment, and today I'm going to be talking about how to make a really nice thumbnail. Even if it's simple, how to make it really nice. And think about it. You're creating a video, you're spending so much time on developing your content, and it's like a book. If you have a really nice book but a really shabby cover, no one's gonna bat an eye at it. But even bad books with good cover sometimes attract you, and then once you start reading, then you're just like, oh fuck. So that's the thing, like here are some examples of good thumbnails. So let's head over to Mumbai Nikhil, who's apparently India's best motovlogger. And look at this guy. He makes great content. I love watching his content. He's one of my best motovloggers in the entire planet. But still, look at it. Look where I think his mistakes are. For example, in this one, he writes future of YouTube, India, motovloggers making money. But it's so hard to read his text because it's small and it's a bit dark. Compared to this one where you asked for it is so easy to see. And guess what, guys, half of our viewer base, they come watch our videos from their cell phones, and it won't be readable that easily if you're viewing this on a 5-inch screen. Like for example, this one, right, for safety, if someone's viewing it on a 5-inch screen, then it's going to be really hard for them to read, and that's an issue. So you need to make them nice and bold like this one. So a better example of this one would be Do It with Dan, who is one of the best motovloggers in the world, or I think the best motovlogger in the world, to be exact. Look at his motovlogs, like look at his thumbnails, I'm sorry. They look so visually attractive. They are so simple yet so attractive. His background tells a story. His font is so nice and bold and so bright that it's so easy to read even when it is this small. And this is probably the size the thumbnail is gonna be when someone's gonna be watching it on their phone. So if someone even bumps onto your video by accident, or they just discover it randomly watching some other guy's video, then they should be able to read the thumbnail and know what your video is all about, because pictures are what attract you at first. You're going to be looking at the picture and then the title, obviously. So you need thumbnails like this. I'm going to show you how I make my thumbnails and what my thumbnails look like. So this is a basic layout of my thumbnail, and what I do is that I always add a border over here, and then I put the text in big and bold with a background which has a story to tell. So if someone stumbles upon my account or my channel or any of my videos in the suggestion section, then they should be able to know what the video is about. Big bold letters, like for example, bike reveal over here, or Darjeeling Diaries, or India Speed Week, or Ride for Chennai, or Yamaha YZF R15 top speed test. You need thumbnails which people can read. You need font which people can read. So you need to have your text in bright colors so that it's really easy to read and really easy to notice. So these are the basic guidelines, and now I shall be showing you how to make a simple thumbnail. So I'm going to be using this online photo editor called PicMonkey, which is really nice and it does the job. And I can give you a very good example of how to make a thumbnail on this editing software itself. The link of the website will be down below, and you can easily go check it out. So I'm going to just be taking one random picture. For example, so I'm gonna select this image. The first thing you need to know is that your thumbnail should be of a 720p HD resolution, which technically is 1280 by 720. So you always need to have the size of your thumbnail as 1280 by 720 or something in that ratio. So the best thing to do is crop it. Over here in PicMonkey, we have some proportions, some fixed proportions. So we are gonna go down here and select 1280 by 720, and then we're gonna stretch this out and select the part that we need and then crop it. So we got this, and I'm gonna apply it. Now we have got a 1280 by 720 image. So what do you want to do next? Let's say we're going to put a border, because borders are really attractive and they're going to show you a lot. I'm going to choose the simple edge border. Now as we can see, there are two borders already, so I'm going to remove the inner one. So there's the black border. I'm going to make it a bit thicker, because obviously in the thumbnail it's going to be smaller and the border is going to look thinner. So I'm going to make it thicker over here so that it looks proper. And then I'm going to change the outer color to something relevant, maybe a red, because the Continental GT is red. So I'm going to choose red and then apply it. Now about text, so we're going to head over to text and put some relevant text on there. So we're going to add a text box and put in Continental GT in there. So the first thing we're going to do is change the blend modes into hard light. Once we have got that done, we're going to change the color of the text into yellow, let's say. So first we got to select it. First we got to select the entire text and then change the color to a yellow. Now we're going to choose a font which makes it pretty visible. So I'm gonna choose impact over here and see how the space between it has been reduced. So we're gonna resize this and make it bigger. So we're gonna click outside and then hold a corner and stretch it and stretch it and stretch it. Now see, if the text is over here, you can't read the NEN part. So we're gonna put it somewhere where we can read it and it doesn't take up much of the background. So we're gonna put it over here. We're gonna put it over here maybe and test it out. Now how do we test it out? Once we're done here, how do we test it out? So we're gonna zoom out on this thing. Okay, we're gonna click on the image and zoom out on it, and we're gonna check how it looks when it's small. So there are a lot of ways of doing that. So now it's pretty small and we can get an idea of how it's gonna look when it's about a half of this. So I think the text needs to be a bit bigger, so we're gonna head in there and increase the size of the text. So we're gonna select the text box and then increase the size of it, and then maybe we're gonna put it somewhere over here or somewhere over here. I'd rather put it somewhere over here because that way it looks cooler. So we're gonna put it somewhere over here, and now I think it's the perfect size when it's smaller, and it's gonna be pretty easily seen and pretty easily fathomed. So one final step that is left is to resize this image. So if you don't understand why we are resizing this image, it's because once we put the borders, the size of this thing changed, the size of the image changed, and we need to resize it. So we're gonna head over to the crop tool again and go over to resize and uncheck keep proportions, and then we are gonna put in 1280 by 720 and hit apply. So now that that is done, we are gonna go over there and save the image. I'm gonna choose Sean because that is the best image quality that we can get, and now I'm gonna save it to my computer, and I'm probably gonna just name it GT and save it. So now we're gonna head over to my desktop and see what the image actually looks like. So this is what your thumbnail actually looks like. It's simple, it's nice, and it's eye-catching, and this is something you should do. I think you should play with other photo editing tools and check out other people who make good thumbnails and get nice ideas from them. And that's about it from me, guys. If you have any questions or any comments or anything you want to ask to me, then please head over to the comment section and keep typing, and thanks for watching this video. If you like this segment and if you want me to continue it, then please mention in the comments below, and please like and share the video if you found it useful. Thank you, guys, and goodbye.